In today's session of Divorce Court, Andre Agee says he had to leave his wife Kimberly because being married to her was just too stressful.
Both of you had stress. That's what life is. Right. Life is stressful. You want a stress-free life? Die.
And when he left, she says he ran to the arms of his ex-wife.
She saw the stress and the bad look on my face.
And she rubbed your head and your back.
She knew what to say to me.
How many wives have you had?
How many wives have I had?
That was my question.
Oh, you really want to talk about that?
Uh-huh. Each time things got a little stressful or a little uptight for you, you said, whew, I'm out of here.
Now Kimberly Ford wants Andre Agee to pay.
And I fell for him, and I fell for him hard.
In today's session of Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Kimberly Ford versus Andre Agee. I'm advised that after 1.5 years of marriage, you're ready for a divorce. Mrs. Ford, why?
A lot of it has to do with the fact that he had just gotten a brand new job out of town, and he was supposed to go to work out of town, and when he got enough money, he was supposed to send for me and the kids. And a week before he came, we were supposed to move, he called me and told me that he had slipped up one time and that he was expecting another baby with his ex-wife.
So he's supposed to be out of town working, and instead he's out of town making love with his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Well,
and had the audacity to get her pregnant as well?
Well, Your Honor,
Mr. Agee,
Your Honor,
what is that all about? You divorced her, right?
Yes, I divorced her, but...
So why all of a sudden is she such a good thing to you, you had to call her back?
Well, it wasn't that I called her back.
Her
We was having a whole lot of problems, and this happened we was having problems way along before the affair even happened.
How do you have a whole lot of problems in less than 1.5 years?
Well, basically, she's real close to her mom.
It's just been me and my mom my whole life.
Hold on a second, lady, tell me his side.
She's real close to her mom, and she tells her mom everything. Her mom gets in our business.
No.
You know, her mom.
So this is the old mother-in-law problem. Poor mother-in-laws are always getting blamed for the
No, I'm not really blaming the mom. It's her. She allowed it to happen.
No.
You know,
let him finish telling me.
You know, I married her. I didn't marry her mom. You know, and she was supposed to confide in me. And if she was going to confide in anybody else, I would have rather been a stranger, somebody who wouldn't be biased, you know.
You mean like a counselor, another professional, or?
No, you know, just basically a friend. You know, say like somebody she worked with, or somebody, you know, maybe she caught the bus with, you know.
That's unrealistic, Mr. Agee. Who did you talk to when you had issues in life?
Who did I talk to?
Yeah.
I talked to some of my friends.
Other women.
You know,
you talked to your ex, right?
I have a lot of older male friends who I can talk to.
Older girlfriends?
No, I said male friends. I have a lot of older male friends that I dealt with.
But what you're suggesting to her is that you have to decide who her friend should be and who her confidence should be. So it seems like that's a double standard, that you can go talk to other women or other friends that you have, but now you want to dictate who she talks to. You wouldn't talk to your ex, right?
Well, that was
Would you
a whole
suggest she talk
issue.
to her ex? Maybe you should have talked to your ex.
I should have.
And he'd have felt better about it.
But I want to say something about a lot of the reason why my mother was in it, because we lived with her a lot of the time, and so she saw a lot of it. It wasn't necessarily me telling her, but she saw a lot of it.
So if you're living in her house, Mr. Agee, she doesn't have to tell her anything.
No, it wasn't really about that.
So it was okay to live in her house and for her to see what was going on, but you didn't want to talk to her.
Her mom knew her attitude and that she was kind of bossy and she kind of wanted to rule me.
You know, it sounds like you're trying to put a lot of this blame on her mother.
No, I'm not putting it on her mom.
I don't believe that that's what broke down this relationship.
It's really not her mom's fault. It's her fault because she's taking it to her mom. She's taking it to her mom.
Okay, tell me, what fault do you put on Mr. Agee for the breakdown of this relationship?
The fault that I put on me is that maybe I should have waited. I probably shouldn't have married her. And when we had the first child, you know, I should have basically stayed away with her and dealt with her cordially with the first child, and then it wouldn't have went no further.
Dealt with her cordially after she gives birth to your child? That's what you should have done? A cordial relationship?
Yeah, because really.
Come on, Mr. A.G.
Because really at that time we weren't in love.
No,
or at least
But you were
wasn't.
in lust.
I
and
was
after you
in
bring a
love.
child into the world, you're
I
supposed to
was
deal
in
with her
love.
cordially. I've never heard of a cordial
Honor,
dealing with
Your
sexual
Honor.
relations and having a baby. That's cordial?
Well, I mean, you know, you have to try to get along. You have to try to make things work, even though you're not together.
Your Honor, I
You need to think about that before you lay down and produce a child.
Yeah, that's true, but sometimes we don't, you know.
But now you're separated, right?
Right.
And you're by yourself.
No, he ain't by himself.
Oh, he's not by himself?
I'm by myself.
No, you ain't by
But
yourself.
now, what role do you think?
She don't know.
How did calling your ex, how did you get to that point of calling the ex-wife or the ex-girlfriend
see,
or what?
I was away on
Ex-wife?
training for a job. I was on
How many
the way
wives have you
training.
had?
How many wives have I had?
That was my question.
Oh, you really want to talk about that?
Uh-huh. I usually want to talk about things that I ask questions about.
I mean, it's really not something I'm proud of, but you know,
Well, just answer my question.
She's my third wife.
Third? And how old are you?
I'm 34.
3 wives.
3 wives.
And you still don't understand how 3 wives and you're going back to the ex?
No, it's somebody
it
different.
really didn't happen like
Wait a
we
minute,
have
which
a
ex
child
did you go
together.
back to? Ex number 1 or ex number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2. But it really
How did that happen?
It really wasn't like that, Your Honor.
Like what? You haven't told me
happened.
anything.
What happened was I was away on training for a job, and me and her weren't
Trying to
getting
make
along.
a better life for you and this wife, right?
Right. But during that, we weren't getting along before I even left for training. We had bills that we
Things
needed to
weren't
pay.
that
Hold
bad.
on, let him explain this to me.
We had been staying with her mom, and me and her mom hadn't been getting along. So you know, I was booted out. You know, and so
Were you booted
we
out,
were-
or did you leave and
No.
went to work at another place out of a town in
Well,
another
I was
town?
booted out before that took place, and so we actually wasn't getting along that well. Then I was like about 90 miles away from her, and she.
With no
Sometimes
car.
she
had
go
her
in and
own
out of
car.
attitude. So sometimes I called her. She wasn't in the mood.
I was 8
she
months
didn't want to
pregnant.
talk to me.
When he left,
you
I
had
was
already
8 months
had
pregnant.
the baby. Yeah, when I left,
when you left, I was
pregnant.
8 months pregnant. When you're 8 months pregnant, you're irritable already.
Yeah.
Some
You
people
already-
are.
So
I
you know,
am.
she was
I
going off on me on different
irritable.
times and stuff like that.
then-
And I already had stress on me as well.
And of course, she didn't have any stress on her.
Yeah, she had some stress, you know, and you know, I got feelings for her, but what about mine too? You know,
Both of you had stress. That's what life is.
Right.
Life is stressful. You want a stress-free life? Die. That's the only time you have one.
Right.
When divorce court returns, Andre testifies about the night he ran to his ex-wife's arms.
She saw the stress and the bad look on my face.
And she rubbed your head and your back.
She knew what to say to me.
And Kimberly testifies about more broken promises.
Are you going to take this seriously? Is this something
I
that you're
did
going to
take it
stick
serious.
through,
Let her
through
talk.
thick and thin, through everything? And he said yes.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce Court is back in the case of Andre A.G., who says he had to leave his wife Kimberly because being married to her was just too stressful.
Mr. A, hold on a second. I'm going to help you out. You blaming everybody but Mr. A.G.
yourself.
I was lonely.
always been.
I wasn't getting along with my wife anyway. Her mother would have interfered. Why don't you just say, I wanted somebody else and something else? You just can't accept that.
No, it wasn't that I wanted somebody else and
So
something
how
else.
did the ex-wife, where was she? Right next door?
No,
No.
no.
How many
no.
miles away was she?
I
was
went
spending
over to
time
get
with
my
her.
other son.
How many miles away was she?
Spending more time with her than you were
how
with
many
me.
miles? She's about maybe
Don't mumble, Miss Ford. Let me hear what
about
he's saying.
11 miles away.
11 miles? Mm-hmm. Did you kind of plan this when you got this job?
No, I didn't plan this. I went over to pick up my son.
I mean, did you
She
know
saw
she was
the
11
stress.
miles away?
She saw the stress and the bad look on my face.
And she rubbed your head and your back.
She knew what to say to me, and you know, I fell into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
So what did she say to you and you fell into it?
what did she? You know, she was like, "What's wrong? You know, can we sit down? Can we talk about it? You know, you need somebody to listen to you."
And this is the woman that you had divorced before.
Yeah, I divorced her.
And
you
that
know.
you divorced her probably because she didn't understand your stress and wasn't meeting your needs. Is that right?
Right, that is true.
So all of a sudden she understands your stress. And she
but-
comforts you all of a sudden.
Well, you know, sometimes a person can read you, you know, at that moment. It's not that she is just, you know, the woman, you know, that...
Well, just because somebody provides comfort for you and reads you at that moment and rubs your back and says, I understand and let's talk about it, doesn't mean that you have to end up having sex with them, especially when you're already married.
That's true.
And by then, you should have known what the marital commitment was.
That's true. That's true.
But of course, on 3 times around, you didn't put much confidence in it anyway.
No, well,
right?
Yes.
Well, I had confidence. I started out with good intentions.
No,
you know?
3 times around, and you should have known. What I hear then on 3 marriages is that each time things got a little stressful or a little uptight for you, you said, "Whew, I'm out of here."
Not really.
Yes.
Not really.
That's you.
That's what it sounds like.
She's
because
describing you.
So what was the final straw that broke this marriage?
The final straw that broke it was that, you know, due to the stress that we already had on us.
Why didn't you just decide to stay single since you knew what that marriage caused you stress?
Your Honor? Your Honor?
No, I didn't know marriage caused me stress.
You had been through 2 of them.
Can I say something?
I had been through 2 of them, but I knew that something just really went wrong there and not to give up.
Something always goes wrong. Ms. Ford.
Before we got married, I asked him, I said, you know, is this something that you're going to be, are you going to take this seriously? Is this something that you're going to stick through thick and thin, through everything? And he said yes. That's the only.
Well, how long had you known him before you married?
I had known him, 95, so 4 years by
4
then.
years?
No, 3 years by then.
And in those, so you knew him when he was married to the first wife?
Yeah,
Or the second wife?
The second wife. When I had met him, he didn't tell me he was married.
Oh.
And then after a while.
And he was already married?
Yeah, then after a while.
I was going through a divorce.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, then after a while, he told me that he was going through a divorce.
Okay, now, when you met him, he lied to you about his marital status. You found out he's a liar.
Yeah.
Secondly,
I should have seen it.
Okay, he said, I'm divorcing, but I'm not divorced. And I can bet the second thing he said to you was, and it's all her fault because she didn't take care of me and she wasn't responsive to my needs, and she nagged me and she bugged me. What did he tell you about the second wife, the reason he was divorcing?
He said that she started it. Everybody, she started it. He or she started it. Somebody else started it.
And you listened to that?
And I listened to that, and I fell for him, and I fell for him.
So shouldn't that have told you something that...
It should have. It should have.
He's blaming her. And probably when you saw her, you were mad at her and thought she was a terrible woman.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, I did. I did, because I didn't know her. You know, all I knew was what he had told me, and, you know, he...
And it wasn't ever anything good.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Right?
No, yeah, it wasn't.
And that's the thing that you have to realize. When you meet a man that's already married, he's separated, and he's trying to get with you, what do you expect him to say?
Yeah, I know that.
So that should have been a clue to you.
Yeah, as I look back now on it, there were a lot of clues that I wasn't aware.
And now here's the same thing repeated.
Yeah.
It's all her fault. I really shouldn't have married her in the first place. She nagged me. She bugged me. Her mother bugged me. It caused me stress. So now what do you want here today?
We had bought a car, and...
Your Honor?
No, we had bought a car. We had bought a car, and we put $500 down on it. I only had $100 at that time. Him and the salesperson agreed that he would pay $400 more on the car for the total of the $500 down deposit. And so they arranged that. He wrote the check. They were going to deposit it in a month. So later on, I talked to him. He said he's stopping payment on the check. And
so what happened to the car?
The car, I still have the car. I had to borrow $400, and I have a proof that I borrowed it.
Let me see the proof.
I borrowed $400 from a friend of mine.
Well, Your Honor, can I say something?
When she finishes.
And I have to now repay that. I have to pay that $400.
Did you stop the payment?
First of all, yes, I stopped the payment, Your Honor.
And why?
She took the car on her own. To me, it was childish. She took the car. In the way she took it, she got a knife. She slashed the tire so I couldn't drive off with it.
Because he was about to leave in it.
She disabled the car.
He was about to leave in it.
She disabled the car.
And I'm telling you, I would do it again. Again, in a minute.
For her, too.
So when she slashed the tires, you said, I'm not going to pay this down payment.
No. When she slashed the tires, she showed me that she's going to keep the car no matter what, and that she's going to take the responsibility of the car.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
It was just childish on your part to slash the tires. And you, being angry, canceled the check. So before you do anything, think of the consequences.
And an update on the case of Siobhan Dorsey versus Willie Dorsey.
I think my wife is a racist.
This woman told me that she was pregnant by my husband.
It's because the people are white.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Kimberly Ford, who's divorcing her husband Andre after he got his ex-wife pregnant.
The point is, though, in terms of the $400 down payment, is that it was made during the marriage, and both of you were responsible for it.
Correct.
So if the total down payment was $500, then it should have been $250 each, really.
Correct.
So it turned out that she paid it all, right?
Correct.
That's what really happened.
But
And you're paying the car note every month.
Yeah.
she had the car.
I understand that very well. And she still has the car. And she still has the note. You rescinded that check, which means that you got all the money.
It doesn't mean I
What
have
happened to
all
the
money.
$400? If you canceled the check, the
got
$400 remained with you.
Got spent somewhere
I have
else.
real good sense.
Right, but the $400, I end up using that to get to work.
That's good.
I had to use someone else's car.
I'm glad that you kept working.
I had to. I
But
mean,
you
you
should
know,
not
I
have
have to
canceled-
give
but
her
you should
support.
not have canceled that check.
I even paid. Well, also the rent was due, Your Honor.
We're not talking about the rent. The rent was due and the light bills too, right?
Right, and I had to pay it.
I understand that. We all have to pay those kinds of bills. Doesn't excuse, we're talking about the car.
Right.
And you are responsible and you need to pay and shall pay her, which is my order, $250, reimburse her. Because, again, it was just childish on your part to slash the tires. And you, being angry, canceled the check, which meant that it's your children that need a car. You weren't thinking about them. You were just thinking about yourself. So before you do anything, think of the consequences. But since it was a community obligation to purchase the car in the first place, and it was community money that was being used, I'm just ordering you to reimburse the community your share. So the order is you're to reimburse her $250. And you can do it in the next 30 days. That's the order of the court. Court's adjourned.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Siobhan Dorsey versus Willie Dorsey.
My wife spends my money, your money.
No, she doesn't spend mine. Trust me, she doesn't.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Willie Dorsey said he had to divorce his wife Siobhan because she spent every dime he had.
My wife spends my money, your money.
No, she doesn't spend mine. Trust me, she doesn't.
Our budget is Burger King and she getting lobster and steak.
Life is too short. You're working, you should be able to spend the money.
You shop every month?
No.
Every week?
She don't.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
I do
there
not
you go.
shop every week. I like clothes. I like looking good.
I can't have, people coming trying to repossess my TV, but my wife look good.
But Siobhan said that Willie's cheating caused the problems in their marriage.
This woman told me that she was pregnant by my husband.
Is the woman pregnant by you?
No, that woman ain't got not even an imaginary baby in her stomach. It's because the people are white. I think my wife is a racist.
Willie said that Siobhan threw away all of his expensive designer clothes, and he wanted her to pay for them. The judge ordered Siobhan to pay Willie $1,500 because she admitted that she threw the clothes away out of spite. Siobhan says she's taking some time out from dating and is focusing all of her energy into her professional career. Willie says he is pursuing his passion for baseball and is trying out for a minor league team based in Europe.
I feel the judge made a fair decision about the verdict. I can go ahead and pay the $250. I'm thankful that I didn't have to pay the whole $400. So I think it was fair.
I thought that the verdict was fair. It was both of us, so half is better than nothing.
I don't really regret marrying her, because I jump into everything, with the whole attitude of trying to do the right thing, but it just didn't work out.
Very sorry. Very sorry that the marriage is over.
You take this, you learn from it, and you move on. You try to, be better the next time.
I'm very sorry that I married him. Marry him was a mistake.
I'll get married again. I'll never give up.
One day I will get married again.